You open the front door after a long day. Before you even set your bag down, there it is, that familiar pose. Front legs stretched forward, tail up, eyes locked on yours. You smile. You reach down and scratch behind the ears. And then you walk past. But what just happened was not a stretch. It was a sentence, and you just walk past someone trying to speak to you. Most people call it excitement, a quick muscle stretch after a nap, something cute your dog does when you come home. You've probably seen it 1,000 times, and 1,000 times you've done the same thing, smiled, given them a pat, and moved on with your evening. But in the year 2000, an evolutionary biologist named Mark Bekoff at the University of Colorado published a body of research that reframed this gesture entirely. He spent over a decade studying this one pose. Not casually, he filmed more than 200 hours of canine social behavior and analyzed it frame by frame. He observed it in wolves, in coyotes, in foxes, in domesticated dogs, every canid species on Earth. And what he found was this. That pose, front legs forward, rear elevated, eyes locked and focused, appears in exactly one context across all of them. Not play, not stretching, not excitement after a nap. Bonding. It's called a play bow, and despite the name, it's not a request to play. It's a declaration of trust, a bonding invitation, one of the oldest signals in the entire mammalian world. And your dog performs it every single day. For you. Here's the thing. Your dog doesn't bark to speak to you. They don't need to. Their body is already fluent in a language older than any word you've ever learned. A language written not in sounds, but in movement, in posture, in the precise way their body arranges itself the moment they sense you at the door. That language has been spoken for 15,000 years. In a previous video, we explored the invisible frequency your dog reads before you even speak.
Today, we'll see what happens when that frequency reaches their body, and why the first thing they do is speak back. Because that stretch you see every single day, it's not a stretch, it's the first word. To understand this language, we need to start with the first word your dog says to you every single day. Picture the pose. Front legs stretched forward, chest lowered toward the ground, rear elevated, tail wagging, eyes focused, locked directly on yours. Most pet channels will tell you this is a play bow, that it means your dog is happy, maybe excited. They'll spend about 40 seconds on it and move to the next behavior on the list. But Bekoff didn't spend 40 seconds. He spent over a decade. And his conclusion wasn't that dogs are happy to see you. His conclusion was far more specific. The play bow is a declaration of trust. It's your dog's body saying, I see you. I'm open to you. You are safe with me. Not let's play. Not I'm excited. I trust you. But here's where it gets deeper. Alexander Horowitz at Barnard College's Dog Cognition Lab found that dogs don't just react to your arrival, they prepare for it. The play bow begins forming in their body before you've even fully entered the room. Their muscles shift, their posture drops, their weight redistributes, all in anticipation of one moment, the moment they see you. Your dog isn't surprised when you walk through the door. They've been rehearsing their greeting. And that licking when you get home? That's not affection. At least, not in the way you think. Peter Hepper at Queen's University Belfast discovered that dogs process your biochemical signature through a structure called the vomeronasal organ, sometimes known as Jacobson's organ. It's essentially a second nose, dedicated to reading chemical signals your skin releases. Through it, your dog reads your cortisol levels, your stress hormones, your emotional state. They're not greeting you randomly. They're reading you first, then responding. And when they tilt their head while looking at you, that's not cute confusion. Research suggests that dogs tilt left to process emotional information and right to process commands. That head tilt is calibration. They're adjusting how they listen to match what you need. So the play bow, the licking, the head tilt, these aren't three separate behaviors you scroll past in a listicle. They're the opening paragraph of a greeting your dog writes with their entire body. And the stretch? That's the first word. But the greeting word is just the beginning. Because once the conversation starts, it doesn't stop, especially when you sleep. Think about where your dog sleeps, not where you put their bed, where they actually end up, pressed against your side, facing the door, back turned toward you. Most people think these are random habits, comfort preferences, maybe a little clingy. But each one of these positions is a word, and they all mean something different. When your dog presses their body against yours at night, that's not neediness. That's the security word. Their body is saying, you are my safe zone, the one place where my nervous system can fully stand down.
When they sleep facing the door, ears twitching at every sound, body positioned between you and the hallway, that's the protection word. They've chosen the most alert position in the room, not for themselves, for you. And when your dog turns their back to you while they sleep, in the wild, exposing your back means exposing your most vulnerable side to attack. Your dog does it because they've calculated something. The safest place in the world is right in front of you. That's the trust word, the highest one they have. But here's where it gets measurable. Researchers at the University of Jyväskylä in Finland discovered something remarkable. When dogs sleep near their owners, their heart rate variability begins to synchronize. Your heartbeats start matching rhythms, not metaphorically, literally. Two different species, one shared pulse. And that dog lying in the doorway you keep tripping over at 2 in the morning? That's not laziness. From that exact position, they can track every room you might enter, every sound from outside, and the rhythm of your breathing as you sleep. They chose the most uncomfortable spot in the house, so you could have the most comfortable sleep. These aren't random sleep habits, they're trust declarations, written in body placement, measured in synchronized heartbeats, and backed by 15,000 years of learning who to sleep next to. The greeting word, the trust words. But there's another category of words your dog speaks, and you've probably been punishing them for it. You come home to find your socks scattered across the living room, one in the dog bed, one under the pillow, one tucked between the couch cushions. Your first instinct? Frustration. Bad dog. But look closer. Every sock is in a place your dog spends time. The bed where they nap, the couch where they wait, the pillow where they rest their head at night. They didn't destroy your socks. They distributed your scent across every safe space they have. They built a map of you, out of cotton and smell, because even when you're gone, they need your presence to fill the room. That's a devotion word. And when your dog drops their favorite toy at your feet, they're not asking to play. They're offering you the most valuable thing they own. In nature, sharing resources means one thing. You are family. You are pack. Raymond and Lorna Coppinger trace this behavior back 15,000 years, to the earliest days of dog-human coevolution. The impulse to share, to guard, to position their body near yours, these aren't trained behaviors, they're evolutionary inheritance, written into DNA across thousands of generations. Every sock stolen, every toy dropped at your feet, every time they curl up with your worn shirt, these aren't random acts. They're sentences in a vocabulary written across millennia. Your dog's body remembers what to do with someone it loves, even if no one taught them. If you're starting to see your dog's behavior differently right now, if you're realizing there's been a conversation happening that you didn't know about, consider subscribing, because we decode the science behind every word your dog speaks. So far, we've decoded the greeting, the trust, and the devotion, 3 categories of words in the body's oldest language. But here's where it gets strange, because neuroscience just found something that changes everything about that stretch. In 2014, neuroscientist Gregory at Emory University did something no one had attempted before. He trained dogs to lie perfectly still inside an fMRI machine, fully awake, no sedation. And then he exposed them to different stimuli: toys, food, the scent of a stranger, the scent of their owner. The caudate nucleus, a small region deep in the brain, the same area that lights up in humans when you experience something you love, stayed quiet for the toy, barely flickered for food. But the moment the dog detected their owner's scent, it lit up like a city at night. Not because of food association, not because of training, because of you. A year later, Miho Nagasawa at Azabu University published a study in Science, one of the most prestigious journals in the world. She found that when dogs and their owners make eye contact, both experience a surge in oxytocin, the exact same hormonal loop that bonds a mother to her infant. The same chemical that evolution designed to keep a mother and child alive fires between you and your dog every single time they look at you. So that stretch, that play bow when you walk through the door, it's not excitement, it's not habit, it's not learned behavior. It's a neurological event. Your scent triggers an oxytocin cascade. Your presence activates their reward center, and their body translates all of that into one gesture. That's not a stretch, that's biology speaking. And what biology is saying is something you need to hear. The play bow, the synchronized heartbeat, the stolen socks, the toy at your feet, the head tilt, the body in the doorway at 2 in the morning. These aren't 10 random behaviors you scroll past in a listicle. They're one continuous conversation happening every single day in a language your dog has been fluent in since the moment they were born. And every word of that conversation points to the same thing. Not the treat, Not the toy, not the other dog at the park. You. You are what makes their caudate nucleus light up before they even see you. You are what triggers the oxytocin cascade, the same one a mother feels holding her newborn. You are what makes their body move before their brain catches up. That stretch? That's not a reflex. That's 15,000 years of evolution selecting for one response. The body's way of saying, you are my favorite thing in this world. 15,000 years ago, a wolf approached a fire. Something in its body said, that one, that human, trust them. And every generation since, that message has been refined, encoded, perfected, until it became the gesture your dog performs every single day without thinking. The play bow, the first word, the body's oldest sentence. But here's what most people miss. If your dog suddenly stops doing the greeting stretch, if the play bow disappears, if the tail stays low, if the body goes still when you walk in, pay attention. Because a body that stops speaking is a body that's given up trying to be heard. And that silence is the one signal you cannot afford to miss. So tomorrow morning, when you walk into the room, watch for it. The legs stretching forward, the tail rising, the eyes finding yours. It'll take less than a second, and in that second, a body that carries 15,000 years of co-evolutionary history will perform the oldest greeting in the animal kingdom. Not because they were trained, not because they expect food, because somewhere deep in their neurology, deeper than memory, deeper than learning, there's a circuit that says, this person is home. And the only way to say that in the body's first language is to bow. Every day, your dog greets you with a sentence they've been writing for 15,000 years. It's always the same sentence. It always means the same thing. And now you know what it says. Does your dog do this when you come home? What's the first thing their body says to you? Tell us in the comments, because every dog's first word is worth hearing. And if you want to keep decoding the language your dog speaks, consider subscribing, because there's a lot more your dog is saying. But what happens when the body goes silent? When the greeting disappears? When the conversation stops? That's next.